In this video, I'm going to give you some reminders about how to rotate points or line segments or shapes around a point of rotation. In this example, I want to rotate this line segment, and I'm going to name this line segment AB, and I'm going to rotate AB about point O. I'm going to rotate it 80 degrees. Now the first thing to remember is that if you're asked to rotate a positive degree, so positive 80 degrees, you're going to be rotating in the counterclockwise direction. Okay? Rotating in the clockwise direction would be a negative number. We would have a negative 80 degrees, for example, if we were going to rotate it in the clockwise direction. But since this says rotate positive 80 degrees, we're going to rotate in a counterclockwise direction. So the first step that we're going to do here, and I'm going to use different colors to help keep the parts straight here. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to line up point A with my center point of rotation. So point A and point O, I'm going to line those up, and I'm going to draw in a dotted line between those 2 points. Okay. Now since I'm asked to rotate 80 degrees, I'm going to take my protractor now, and I'm going to line this up, and I'm going to put the center hole of my protractor on point O, and I'm going to line up this line of my protractor with the dotted line that I just drew in. And now I'm going to look for 80 degrees. So start at 0, I'm going to work my way up to 80 degrees. I'm going to make a mark here. And again, I'm going to draw in another dotted line that goes from point O out in this direction 80 degrees. So from here to here, this was 80 degrees. Okay, so I drew an 80-degree angle. Now the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to measure the distance between point A and point O, my center of rotation. I'm going to measure that, and then I'm going to copy that same distance onto this second line that I just drew in. So I'm going to measure this. This looks to be just a hair shy of 6.5 centimeters. So I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to make my point here, and this is going to be A prime. Now I'm going to repeat the same steps again for B, point B. So the first step that I will do is take my ruler, a straight edge, and I'm going to line up B with point O and make a dotted line. I'm doing this one in pink so you can tell the difference. Then once I've got that in there, I'm going to use my protractor again, put the hole of the protractor on point O, and then line up this line on my protractor with that dotted line that I just drew in. And then I'm going to again start at 0 and look for 80 degrees right here, 80 degrees. Make that mark. Go back to my ruler, and I'm going to draw in another dotted line that goes off in that direction. Now, similar to what I did when I was working with point A, now with point B, I want to know the distance between point B and my center point of rotation. So it looks like this is right about 2.5 centimeters. So I'm going to copy that distance over here. 2.5 centimeters. There is B prime. And the last thing that I'm going to do is connect A prime to B prime. And there is my segment rotated 80 degrees around point O. Now I also want to give you an example of how to do this when you have a negative degree of rotation. So let me give you this example here. Okay, and in this one we are also rotating a triangle, not just a line segment. So we have 3 points that we need to work on rotating about point O. So for this example, we're going to rotate 130 degrees, negative 130 degrees, which means that we're going to be going this time in the clockwise direction. So, same thing as before, I'm going to start with point A, and I'm going to connect that to point O. I'm going to line up my protractor, get that lined up there, and starting at 0, and I'm going to go 130 degrees. So that's going to be out there, make that mark. And then I'm going to, again, make a dotted line off in that direction. So now I've got the 130 degree angle there, but I want to measure the distance from A to O. It's just a bit over 4 centimeters. I'm going to line this up. Oh, I can't. The leg of my tripod isn't working with me, so we're going to go this way, just a bit over 4 centimeters. And there is going to be point A prime. So do the same thing now with points B and C. Line up B with the center point of rotation. Draw in that dotted line. And use the protractor to measure 130 degrees starting at 0, 130 degrees in the clockwise direction. Use my ruler. You can use a straight edge also. Draw in a dotted line out in that direction. Oops. It didn't all show up. And I want to go the same distance. So measuring from B to O, just shy of 5 centimeters. Just shy of 5. Okay, so I've got A prime, now here's B prime. And last, we're going to do the same thing with point C. So once again, line C up with O. Draw in that dotted line. Use the protractor. Make sure that you've got your protractor facing the right way. So put that on the center point there. Line up my line. I'm starting at 0, going 130 degrees clockwise. So lining up that center point O with C, and then measuring the distance from O to C. That looks like just a hair over 2 centimeters. So here, just a hair over 2. So here is C prime. So at one point at a time, we're rotating 130 degrees in that clockwise direction. That's the direction we do it when our degrees are negative. I'm going to connect all of the points. And there is my original triangle ABC, rotated negative 130 degrees clockwise. And I've got triangle A prime, B prime, C prime here for the image.